So the inspiration for this show came from, I make paper in one of my classes. My students make paper for a technical class. And I try to make paper all the time. Like Jacob, I like paper. You know, we use it in graphics. It's a big part of what we do. And I wanted to see what would happen if, to get other people involved, not just the paper itself, but to get to see some application of that product, that paper.
Like Mitch, I'm interested in paper. As an artist, I'm interested in sort of the really tactile experience of paper. And the idea of working on really unique surfaces was very intriguing to me, rather than sort of a generic substrate you purchase at a store or something like that. And as he started making the paper and giving it to me, it I guess presented some very interesting opportunities and challenges, because the texture or the consistency of the paper was different from paper to paper. Some of them really sort of actually fell apart as I was making the art, so I had to sort of, figure out new ways to make the images. Number one is I try to respond to the material from which the paper is made conceptually. For instance, if a paper is made out of McDonald's bags, I actually had the idea that I should try to go and make an image of a McDonald's establishment. And the idea with McDonald's that's interesting with me is, or interesting in my mind rather, is that it's this global thing. It's the same here in the United States as it is, in like Mongolia or something like that. And the other way I related to the paper inspired me was just the way it looked. Sometimes the way the paper looked brought certain images to my mind. For instance, one of the images I made was of a television screen, a staticky television screen. The paper was made out of local cotton, and the way Mitch processed the paper was he allowed some of the organic. I mean, it's all organic, right? But some of the seeds and stuff to remain in the paper, so it wasn't just like this pristine white cotton sheet, but there were these little flecks in it from some of the seeds from the cotton plant, and it really reminded me of a staticky television screen. So that relationship between the way the paper looked really sort of inspired the direction of the image I made.
When Mitch approached me about writing poems for his paper, I was very excited about the opportunity to write what I call ekphrastic poetry. It's a lot of what I already do, where you write a poem or you create a piece of art off of another piece of art. The struggles of this project for me was, how can I write a poem off the paper, and then if I'm so inspired to write a longer narrative poem, get it to work in this display. So by that time, Jacob had actually produced his image, and I thought about this McDonald's in Vatican City, and I thought about my own life, and I thought about how busy we are, and I got this poem that would never have been created without these two works of art. So that was one neat part about responding to these paintings with paper and the image. I also found it really neat to read about what was in the paper. For instance, the Hertford County play has a great sound to it, which is great for poets. And I found that I wrote a poem was very much in my voice. So some of the work very much reflected what I would the usual style for me, and then some pieces were very new and surprising.
I think each of us individually produced something that could probably stand alone, but putting them together and making them fit and seeing the application of the real artist's work on the paper is what makes it.
They very much when you see all three together, they very much inform each other. Even ones that seem to be very separate. For instance, there's one with my poem All That Racket, and then there's the picture of the clown, and then the paper has an old T-shirt, and these things wouldn't seem to connect, but when you look at them, you're left thinking about these bright colors of the paper, and then this kind of energetic poem, and then this clown who's crying. It speaks to emotion in a very exciting way.
Yeah, I think that for me, that's one of the most exciting parts of the exhibition is that these elements that seem so disparate, it really forces the viewers to make a connection. It forces them to think about it in a way they probably wouldn't if they were presented with these elements separately. But because they've been combined, we automatically, as viewers, want to sort of find a relationship between things that are combined. So it really forces them to stretch their imagination, stretch their mind to make those connections that they wouldn't normally do.
To me, one of the special things about this project is it's a collaboration by faculty from different disciplines that typically don't get a chance to work together. And here we have someone from the technology side, from the art side, and from the English side, the writing side, where we've all pulled talents to produce something that's better than just the individual parts of it. So being able to work with faculty, the interdisciplinary part of this project is what makes it special, I think.
Yeah, and for me, this project really sort of demonstrates the power of collaboration, the value of collaboration. I think, so when I make art, my own art on my own, there's a certain sort of subset of images or ideas I'm working with. Collaborating with people force me outside of those boundaries that I usually work with, and as a result, we came up with images and a combination of images, text, and paper that was not something I could have predicted or really anticipated. It became unexpected results, sort of good unexpected results. Happy sort of surprises came from this collaboration, which wouldn't have happened if it had been something I'd done all by myself.
Yeah, I agree with Jacob on that. I also use a lot of images and other writing to go off of for inspiration in my own work, but to have to actually be face to face with the other artists was really it was new for me, and it challenged me in an entirely new way, just to be able to see what image was going to come out of a poem that I shared, or a poem that I shared, and the paper that was made off of it. So. Very, very new for me, and definitely speaks to the value of collaboration that I teach my students about, reading a lot and knowing your art form and knowing that discipline very well.
Hi, my name is Jacob Downey. I'm an assistant professor of art in the Communication and Art Department at Chowan University.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mitch Hinkie, and I'm an associate professor in the Graphic Communications program at Chowan University.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Newhouse, and I'm an assistant professor of creative writing at Chowan University.
This show will be up in the Green Hall Gallery at Chowan University until the 5th of November. Come on out and check it out.